what am I talking about when I'm asking you for domain?
The first set of numbers.
The first set of numbers. So graphically, what's the first number on a graph?
X.
The x number. So I am asking you for the possible x values, which means the range is asking you for what? Possible y values. Yep. Writing at a really weird angle, so I'm sorry if my writing looks weird. Okay, on a graph, the x values go in which direction? Show me with your hands.
Horizontal.
They go horizontally, they go across, right? So when I'm talking x, I'm talking left to right. And when I'm talking y, I'm talking up and down. Good. Okay. So we're going to start out with some real basic, concrete, you can see the whole thing examples. Let's look at this one. Okay? This first graph. I want to know what are the x values that are covered on my graph. And x values goes from left to right. So I want to first find the point that's the furthest to the left on the graph. Point to it with your pencil and then check with your partner and see if you're pointing to the same spot. Okay, the point furthest to the left. Did you come up with this one?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and extend this line all the way up so I can see where that is on the x-axis. Okay. Now how about the point furthest to the right? That's the other end point, right? So here's your point furthest to the right. So I can say left to right, this graph goes from -5 up to, I think that's 9. Do you agree with me? Okay, let's talk about how to write our answer. This is going to look scary. It's not scary, but it's going to look it. Write this down, and then we'll talk about it. -5 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 9. Yeah, there were things we wrote like this last year. So what this is saying is all of your x values fall between -5 and 9. And if that notation, if that inequality thing freaks you out, it's okay. Maddie?
Where did you get the 9 from? Yeah.
Oh, is it 8?
Yeah.
Sorry. I was trying to remember from first hour and not really count. Thank you for correcting that for me. Yeah, I didn't actually count. That's where it came from. Okay. This notation always looks the same way. So if the inequality thing freaks you out, you don't have to worry about it. It always stays the same. You always start with your smaller number and go to your bigger number. And then this part in the middle just always looks like that. It's always less than or equal to x, less than or equal to whatever your other number is. Okay? All right, let's try y. When I'm looking at y, what am I looking at? I'm going up and down, right? So this time I don't want to say left point and right point. I want to say low point and high point. Let's find the lowest point on the graph and check with your partner. Lowest point, peek at each other's. You have this one? Lowest point. Highest point. Be careful here. The points that you're looking for don't always have to be the end points. I have a lot of people who want to go with this one because they think that that's the higher of the two end points. You want to find the highest place on the graph. So that'd be this, right? See how I'm kind of boxing that graph in? Like I could put those lines, I could fill them all the way through and then you'd have like a box around it. What is this value right here? On the y-axis, this one. That's -2. And then Franklin, what's the other one? -9. That's where I was remembering 9 from. Okay, so we're going to write our notation. We have to start with our smaller number. Which one's smaller, -2 or -9? Good. -9. The only thing I'm going to change, anyone think they know?
X. Y.
I'm going to make the x a y. Good. -9 less than or equal to y less than or equal to -2. Okay? That's how you would write your answer. I gave you a quiz right now on problems that look like that, how would you do?
100%.
Feel okay on those? Good.
Is it,
Alexa?
so it's always gonna ask. Oh. I mean, it's always, the answer's always gonna have the parentheses part.
Yes. If they look like this, where the graph has like end points. We're going to talk in a minute about the graphs with arrows that keep going. Those are going to look a little different. Okay? But this part in the middle is always going to look the same if you're just saying from one number to another. Okay? All right, let's look at this next example. Okay? So for domain, I'm looking for X. So I'm going in which direction?
Left and right.
Left and right. Okay, so I want left point and right point. So left point would be here. Right point would be here. See, look at all these 9s. That's what I was remembering. So this one here is at -9 on the X. This is at +9 on the X. Can someone raise your hand and tell me what I should write as my answer? Maddie, go ahead.
-9 less than or equal to X. And then 9, wait. -9 less than or equal to X, and then less than or equal to 9.
Perfect. Yes, that's exactly right. Good. Okay, what about range? What am I looking for?
Up and down.
Up and down, so low and high, right? So lowest point on the graph would be these guys here.
Oh, right on the.
Well, it doesn't mean, I just want to know how low are they. So see how they're both at -5?
Oh, right.
Okay, so I'm looking at them up and down now. And then my high point, where's my high point? 0, careful. Graph goes all the way up to here. Okay, and that y value right there is 0. So I have 0 here, I have -5 here. Okay, thinks they can write my notation for this one. Franklin, do this one track.
-5 less than or equal to y, and less than or equal to 0.
Okay, good. Anyone feeling lost? Anyone feeling like they have no idea where I got those numbers from? So everyone's feeling all happy and secure and life is good?
All the time.
Okay.
Are we gonna do the graph ones?
We need to, but let's see.
We don't have
I don't
time.
have time.
Sorry.
We
I-
we have
A couple minutes, I don't think.
Try.
Decision.
Ah.
Okay, here's what I would like you to do. For tonight, last night I had you do sum of 1-4, right? Sum of lesson master 1-4. I would like you to go back to that same assignment and go back and do the ones that we didn't do. So like 4, 5, and 6, I think. See what you can do with those, but we will go over them tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, so number 1, you should now be able to explain what the vertical line test is. Number 2 is just reading off a graph. So I want you to try to finish 1-4. Nope, not that one. Just lesson master 1-4. Okay? Front and back. See if you can finish it. And